Welcome back to another reading and correcting. With me, Kindar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube. And if you want to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today, we are doing chapter 85 of The World Which Is. Waking up is nice. Waking up's nice. The smell is really nice. Warmth is nice too. I really could get used to that. Good morning. Silver says, then chuckles, or whatever it's called in the dungeon without a way to know which time it is. Then, what I did before we slept slams into me, and I lower my head, not quite stifling the groan of embarrassment. That puts my nose squarely between her breasts, but really, at this point, that might be the less intrusive thing I've done. I'm sorry. I mumble. I have no excuses. What for? The arm tightens around me. I kind of forced myself on you. She laughs. You were definitely into it, but you didn't force anything, actually. I have to ask, was this really your first time? I groan. Yes. I definitely enjoyed it, but how good can I have been for someone who's been with other guys before? That's impressive. Okay, not the reaction I was expecting. I look up. What do you mean? The light permeating around us is dim, like I forgot to turn the reading lamp off my desk, but it's too even for that, and we're in the dungeon. This was better than some of the experienced guys I've been with. I hear the quotes. Really? You definitely fumbled about here and there, but you knew that, and you asked how you should do it, and it was good. No matter how much I rack my brain, the only thing there is how good it felt. Are you okay? I mean, I didn't really feel like stopping you once you started things, but you have a girl back home. I don't have to think about it long. It's not like we're engaged, or that I promised I'd keep myself for her, or even that I said anything about wanting to be with her. Did I take for granted it would happen? Or was I just waiting for the right moment? I think, I continue, other things sort of falling into places. I was mostly using Josie so I wouldn't have to deal with being tempted. Anytime Brandon put himself out there for me to see, I just had to tell myself it didn't matter if it turned me on. I wouldn't do anything about it because I was faithful to her. It was easier than dealing with bad first experience. I snort. It didn't even get that far. Although I fully believe that's where it was heading. The guy put all the right hints out there for me to fill in the wrong picture and go along. He's how I all this got started, really. The asshole lured me into the forest, playing on my teenage libido. Then he shoved me into a hole and left me to die. Why would he do that? My chuckle is bitter. I guess you missed my old asshole comment. That's way beyond like being an asshole. Anyway, it's pure luck I found Aaron's corpse and was able to get his class. Oh, right. I did. He did that hours before my choosing day. If not for Aaron, I'd have ended up classless and definitely wouldn't have been able to get out of there. Classless? Yes, if you aren't in a node on choosing day, the system assigns you whatever class is nearest to you. If you're in the middle of nowhere, I shudder, you end up classless and are a drain on everyone around you. I don't think. She stops. I'm sorry. I'm sorry he did that to you. I'm glad you got out of it. Me too. We're silent for a while. Look, I know we sort of touched on this when we kissed the other time, but I'm not in love with you, she replies. Oh, good. I mean, I'm not in love with you either. I think that once we're out of here, I'd like to do this again, with with it not fueled by adrenaline. But unless you're interested in settling down in court, I can't see us getting serious. She chuckles. I plan on doing a lot of adventuring before I consider settling down. But even then, and don't get me wrong, you are a nice guy, but I wouldn't make the decision of if it's with you based on our time here. Makes sense. Does this mean you two lovebirds are done? Elena asked, and I groan. Tell me we didn't with her there. And just where did you think I'd go while you had fun? I groan again. Please, she says. I had my back to you, and I was your age too. I know I've had my fun in places I probably shouldn't, and with more people around than considered appropriate. I groan more, and Silver pats my back. Please don't tell me you two have done stuff with people watching. She chuckles. You know that reputation bards have that will sleep with anything that will just look in our direction? I'm already groaning. It's not entirely undeserved. I'm going to burst on fire. But if it helps, she says, I've kept it to sentient guys. It doesn't, I mumble, my face pressed above her breast. She pats my back again. How about I get us a fire and you practice your cooking skill? Ellen asks. Did you stand guard all night? I ask, untangling myself from Silver and pulling my pants to me. I don't care what she saw or heard us do. I'm not standing up before her naked. I'm not standing up naked with her watching. I closed the door, made sure the other one didn't open outward, and lied down against it. I figured creatures in here aren't smart enough to crack the puzzle that locks the entrance. Are you sure it locked when you closed the door? Silver asks. She's much more casual with standing to get dressed. No, but that's how locks work. And I wasn't staying up while you got your beauty sleep. I'm sorry, I mumble. Stop it, Dennis. She chuckles. You got carried away in the moment. It happens. Fuck knows Brandon told enough story of him and some guy in whatever party he was exploring with, getting to it after a hard enough fight. Except I'm not him. I'd like to think I have more of a head on my shoulder. You're a teen, out of for his first adventure, she replies. It was going to happen at some point. Just be happy it's with Silver and not my brother. I snort. I made it clear enough to him that wasn't happening. Even with knowing how fun this was, and yes, how fun this is. And yes, kind of, I'm, I'm kind of curious to know how it's like with a guy. The idea of doing it with Brandon? Yeah, it's not even interesting. Once dressed and with the fire going, I set to making what turns out to be more of a thin broth with hard pieces of meat in it than anything resembling a stew or soup. But no one complains, and it's filling. The door opens with a solid push, more the resistance of stone against stone than anything meant to prevent us from leaving. And I have to stop at what awaits us. Um, Actually, no, this is a pole because she slept in front of it. And in the middle of a room no more than 4 meters on all sides, is a display dummy wearing a set of leather armor. System query. Arcadian leather armor set. Quality excellent. Type armor. The leather armor favored by the warriors of Arcadia, made of the leather of the wild Trumbor beast, prized for its durability, flexibility, and lightweight. Perception check successful. Arcadian armor is designed to be more effective when worn as a set instead of individual pieces. I grin as I get a notification my perception skill went up to 22. Beyond it is another door. So, trap? I ask. Or the room's reward? Silver offers, although she sounds uncertain. Big fights have those, right? I'm looking at Helen for her opinion, even as I realize she's not gonna know anything about it. The roll of her eyes confirms it. Okay, you do stay by the door. I arm myself. The dummy doesn't have a sword or a shield, but I'm not taking it for granted it can't just make those appear. It's magical, Ellen says. Okay, actually. The armor's magical, Ellen says after words that annoyingly slip between the layers of my brain. Great, I grumbled. Any chance you're willing to try to get more information on the magic? Don't get your hopes up, she replies. I poke the dummy's chest with the tip of my sword, and nothing happens. Ellen mumbles something, and man, is that irritating. How do people who adventure with magic users get used to that? Will I manage to tune it out at some point, make it background noise? The helmet isn't attached, so I use my sword to flick it off the dummy. It lands on the floor and stays there. I pause before picking it up. Either of you know anything about a cursed object being found in dungeons? I don't think those would be given as a reward, Silver says. Ellen curses and starts mumbling again. So we accept this is a reward? It's safe? So if we accept this is a reward, it's safe? Don't put the thing on, Ellen warns, interrupting her casting. At least give me the time to get this working. I step away from the helmet, and when a few more pokes don't produce results, I go look at the door so I won't be closer to Ellen and better not make out. So I won't be closer and be able to make out the magic she's mumbling. It's very much like the one we entered, in that it's stone and the hinges are okay. But the hinges are on the other side. I lean against the wall next to it and wait. And then curses 3 more times, then exclaims, "Yes! You've got something?" Silver asks. "It doesn't have negative magic," she replies, some of her triumphs taken away by their panting. I can't hide my disappointment. That's all she got. Can you get anything more? I asked tentatively. "How long do you want to stay here?" she replies sourly. "I don't think you get how hard information magic is, and I don't have magic detection in that field. I only have magic detection in that field, so I start at a big disadvantage. I'm going to have to learn or figure out a lot more spells there before the cumulative bonuses make this easy." Cumulative bonuses? I look at Silver, but she shakes her head. Have you ever wondered why magic users tend to focus in one field of magic? I figured it was how classes worked. Your ability unlocks a field, like I'll get healing magic once I take the second wind ability. She shakes her head. Yes, there's an aspect of abilities letting us build bonuses in one field, but beyond that, our spells build on themselves. Simply, the more spells in one field you have, the easier to use spells in that field is. In my case, the easier it is to have an attempt succeed. But don't you have like 8 different fields? Silver asks. Ellen grins. I have ambitions. No, ambition. I have ambition. All right. So taking the armor off the dummy isn't going to cause problems? I didn't say that. The armor itself doesn't have magic that will impact the wearer negatively. There is no magic on the dummy, but that doesn't mean it's not trapped. I take out rope. Silver, take one end and go to the other side. On my signal, we cross the room and trip the dummy. And I hope the trap's not a fireball, she replies, taking it. No magic, Ellen says. Silver looks at the ceiling. No burning oil falling down on us then? And are there a lot of story about that happen? Where that happens? We move away. Not that I know, but I wouldn't go by them anyway. Ellen, can you do something if burning oil falls from the ceiling? If that happens and we survive it, we'll have to seriously consider that we're odd class. I nod to Silver, that's a name. And we hurry to the other side. There's barely any resistance when the rope catches on the dummy's feet and it topples. Part breaks off and the armor pieces scatter. I guess it was the reward for the fight, Ellen says, smug. I collect the pieces and put them in my inventory, where each take a slot until they are all in, then the set is in one. Then I switch to my normal clothing. What are you doing? I move this set to my equipment tab, replacing the damaged armor, putting on the best armor I can. But we don't know what it does. It's not going to hurt me, right? Ellen shakes her head. But that doesn't mean it's going to help you. Magic that doesn't hurt me has to help in some way. Ellen can keep trying to learn what the magic is when we're resting, but otherwise, that last fight proved we aren't properly equipped. So I'm going to make use of everything the dungeon provides. I suggest you both do it. Do it. I suggest you both do when. He's not going to go if. When we come across appropriate equipment. And if I do when, Silver is not pleased, but she nods. I grabbed the door's handle and pulled it open. No, wait a minute. No, I said it's on the other side. I did change it there. I put my shoulder to the door and push it open. We continue like before. Kill at a distance as much as possible. And that concludes chapter 85 of The World Which Is. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter will be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read this story, it is up for free on Royal Road. And if you want to read ahead of that and support me in the process, that is on my Patreon. And if you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube. The links are in the notes. And with that, I shall wish you a good day.